Okay, so the first thing is I have removed my stickers from my pylons, and I have come into a well-ventilated area. I just laid my pylons on some plastic wrap, and I'm going to take my paint and primer in metallic silver from Krylon, and I'm just going to give these a coat. I painted the right side up of the pylon. Now I just took a box and I put some painter's tape, made some strips, just so that I could sit the pylons in upside down so I can spray the bottom of the pylon and the inside. Now if you just want to spray the fronts of them, that's up to you, but I decided to do both the outside and the inside, just so that it will look a lot nicer if any of the inside is exposed. So I'm just going to go ahead, take my spray paint, and give these pylons a coat. I just have taken the tops of the tuna cans, the lids, and I just place them on a cardboard, and I'm going to go ahead and take my Krylon paint and primer, and I have it in black gloss, and I'm just going to spray the fronts of the lids, and then once they are dry I will turn them around and spray the back. Okay, so as you can see at this point, the pylons had dried, and I went ahead and I added my jute twine to the pylons. So what I did was I took my jute twine and I measured 4 centimeters from the top, just under the lip, and I marked off 4 centimeters, and I started my jute twine from there, and then I finished it so that I had about 8 centimeters from the end of the jute twine to the bottom of the pylon, and I did all of them the same. So now I'm going to complete the last one, and then we will move on to the next step. So as you can see, the lids have dried. I sprayed them all black and they've dried. Now what I'm going to do is attach them to the pylon. And I've already done 5 of them, and now I will do the last one just to show you. So I will place the pylon so that the thinner part is pointing down, and I'm just going to glue it just a little over the top of the jute twine so that it's just sticking out a little bit. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my E6000 glue, and I'm just adding the E6000 glue because if I use this outside, I just want to make sure with the weather that it's not going to come off. So I'm just applying the E6000 glue to the center of the lid. So I just went from the top about halfway down, and then I'm just going to take my hot glue and go around that just so that it will glue the lid to the jute twine right away, and then it will have time to set so that the E6000 glue can really adhere the lid to the jute twine. And then I'm just going to turn that over, and then I'm going to let that dry overnight. Okay, so now moving on, my lids have dried to my pylon, to the jute twine. Now, this may be an optional step for you. If you are hanging your banner inside your home, you don't really need to do this. But because I am hanging it outside, I really feel that it is a good idea to do, since at times it rains and, you know, the water could fill up inside of the pylon and you don't want any messiness inside of there. So what I did was I just ended up poking a hole on the bottom of the pylons. And all I did for that was I used a screw and my hammer, and then I just placed it in the center of the bottom of the pylon, and then I just tapped it until it broke through. Now, one thing I will recommend is when you are doing this, it's a good idea to stuff the inside of your pylon. What I used was a couple of socks, and I just felt that it gave it a cleaner break when I finally broke through the plastic. When I didn't do that, it actually gave it a much larger hole than I wanted, and it kind of cracked the plastic around the hole. So what I had to do was I just took my hot glue gun, and then I applied some glue all the way around the hole, and then just covered the bottom just to make sure that it had some strength to the bottom of the pylon. But when I did put the sock in, it gave it a really nice hole, and it didn't crack any of the plastic. So that's just one recommendation. Another thing I would recommend is that before you spray your pylons, you actually poke your holes in the bottom of the pylon, because I only thought of this after I spray painted them, and then when you go to poke the hole, you most times get some chipping in the paint. So just poke your holes before you spray paint them, and you should get a really nice finish. So now that I have poked all my holes, I will take my jute twine and I will show you how I string them together. Okay, so now I have my jute twine, and what I did was I measured the length to where I will be hanging this banner, and you will see that later on. And what I did was I doubled it. So now I'm just going to take one of the pylons like this, and as you can see, there are 4 holes, 2 in the front and 2 in the back, and I will be stringing the jute twine from the back, or through the back holes. So I just put it through, so I do it underneath and then over, down into the other hole. Okay, so that's our first one. And then you continue to do the same thing until all your pylons have the jute twine through them. So underneath and then over. So I've come outside and I have just placed my jute twine. The one end is tied in a knot, but the other one is not tied in a knot just yet, because I do want to make sure that once I have my flowers inside of the pylon, that it's hanging just right, and then once I'm happy with it, I will tie it in a knot. But for now, I've just wrapped it around a couple of nails that are sticking out so that I can work with the banner. So it was very simple. All I did was I took the one end, I wrapped it around the wood and tied a knot, and then I just spaced the pylons out enough until I got to the other end of the jute twine. And then once I did get to a space on the jute twine, I just, as I said, wrapped it around these nails here so it's not tied permanently in place, just so that I can have a little bit of play until I'm absolutely done with the banner and satisfied with how it looks. Now, the great thing about this banner that I love is that the pylons, they stay really well in place, because at first I thought maybe I could take some jute twine and then just kind of tie it in place so that it doesn't move around. But they really stay nicely in place. But the great thing about it is that if I want to move them, they really move nicely as well. And I think that's great because, you know, I may have some sign that I want to place in the middle and maybe I need a little bit more space. I can just move these over and then have that work with my sign. You know, I just think that it's really great that I can move the pylons so that I can really give it different looks and change it up. So now I'm going to go ahead and add my flowers to the inside of the pylons, and then I will go ahead and tie the other end of that in a knot so that my banner is firmly in place. Okay everyone, just before I show you the completed look, I thought I'd quickly go over the things that I use to complete my farmhouse banner. Now, most of these things I purchased from the Dollar Tree. There are a couple items that I purchased from Dollarama only because I had already bought them. I had them from previous DIYs and I want to use them up. But you can find substitutes at Dollar Tree. And those two items are, the first are these wooden letters. They are 100% natural wood. Now at the Dollar Tree you can always find the foam letters. You know, the ones that you can take them out of the foam mat and then the kids usually try to put them back in their place. You can purchase them. You can always spray paint them to give them a nicer, more expensive look, and then you just attach a magnet to the back of them and they work just as great. Actually, probably better because they are foam, and if you are using this outside, the water will not harm them at all. You can also use the fridge magnets, the letters that already have the magnets on the back of them. Again, just spray paint those a really nice silver, a white, or a really nice gold, and it really brings up the look of the magnets. Now, speaking of magnets, these ones here I had already purchased before from Dollarama, but I normally purchase the magnetic buttons that you find at Dollar Tree. But again, just showing you that I had them already, but if you want to purchase them there, they do have magnets. Now the next thing is the floral, the flowers that I have purchased, and these ones I already had. I used them in a previous DIY. I will post the link in the description box below if you care to see how I used them in that DIY. But I am reusing them for this one. And I also purchased some berries from the Dollar Tree. I got them in white and green. And then I purchased some cattails, which I really love. They only had 5 bunches, so I took what they had. I purchased some wire cutters because my other ones broke. I then purchased some wet floral foam. Now I did get 6 of them because what I do is I just place these on the inside. I push them down very hard so that they fit in there snug, and these work great, especially if you are using this banner outside. Then I purchased the burlap ribbon, and it comes in 9 feet, and I love this ribbon. It's really great quality and a really great price for this. So I purchased 2 of those. So I'm going to go ahead, put it all together, and then show you the completed look. I really hope that you enjoy it. So Here is the Farmhouse banner DIY, complete with flowers, burlap ribbon, and wooden letters, and I absolutely love how this has turned out. It has me thinking for the other seasons. For spring, I would probably add a little nest with some eggs inside and a little bird sitting on top, or even sitting on the jute twine. I think that that would look adorable. For the fall, I think it'd be really cute to add some hay and little pumpkins. And for the winter, I think it would be really neat to get those styrofoam balls and roll them in some glitter and stack them and then add some lights to this. I think it would be absolutely beautiful. So another thing that would be great is to use this for a wedding at a head table. I mean, you could add your flowers in the center. You could place a Dollar Tree LED battery operated candle, and then you could add some pictures to a small little frame and then add a magnet to that and then place that where the metal tin is, and they could be pictures of the bride and groom. I think that that would look absolutely beautiful. Another thing that I have decided to do is I really enjoy collecting the magnets at the Dollar Tree, and I especially like these ones that look like they're written with chalk. And I think that this would look really nice if you could get a whole bunch of different ones with different sayings on them and then place them on there. I mean, anyone coming to visit your home would love to see the flowers and then read the little quotes underneath. This is just another neat way to use these magnets. And I'm so happy to be able to switch this up many different ways and use it all year round. So if you like this DIY, and I really hope you did, please like, share, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And as always, guys, take care, and I hope to catch you in my next video. Bye-bye.